So purpose of this drill, a lot of guys are used to, because in the pitching delivery you're starting lateral, they're used to loading and generating force in a lateral position, and once they start to rotate, if they don't have, you know, good lower leg power, if they don't have good glute power to extend the hip and push the hip through, they usually just keep rotating, and that's what he is. He's just a really good rotator, and he separates well. So those guys, you got to put them in internal rotation where they are not really powerful, and you got to force them to build power through it here. So now when they start to go into rotation, they can kick in the glutes, the lower leg, and they're just adding that much more power to their lower half, and that's when it really helps their ball speed and even their arm health. Right?
Right.
Wow.
But is it easy? It's not easy at all. Because you're hitting a weakness, like, and that's what a lot of people don't like coming here, is they don't like us exposing their weaknesses and picking on their weaknesses, and that's all we do. That's all we do is pick on weaknesses, right? Right.
Not very good at it.
Gotta break your toes. I literally thought I was gonna break my toe right there. Saw him over there. There you go. I mean, you got a little ahead, but I can see you peaking it. It's just keeping your chin back is the key too. And that's just guys that, you know, starting early when you're trying to delay.
How are you here right now? Did you not have school?
So, you know, like I said, if you amp up your power, I believe that all of a sudden everything starts loading back and accelerating through. So you keep doing your best, but don't get frustrated like you're not keeping it back. It could just be, it's just not enough power to really make your trunk want to sit back and ride all that energy. Here you go. Just crack the whip now. Yeah, it's all right, but see, like, not much of a pop. Like I said, exposing weaknesses. That's all we can do here. Like, that's the only reason to come to Louisiana, right? Is expose a weakness, and then you've got to be willing to take that challenge. I think that's the problem with baseball. You expose a weakness in baseball, and they want to run away. I think that's why, you know, you see approaches or organizations that strictly all they want to do is trap our deadlifts. You know, why are we sticking to one lift that has, you know, the functionality is very far from the complexity of the pitching delivery? Why are we just everyone conforming to this one lift? Like, to me, exposing weaknesses is forcing you to be more well-rounded, forcing you to get out of comfort zones, forcing you to challenge your anatomy and get better, because that's the only way you're going to get better. And that's our approach here. And that's the problem, is a lot of guys run away from here because they don't like being picked on, and that's what we're doing. We're picking on you because we want to make you better.
Stop being such a bully, Brent.
I know, but I mean, tell them it's not being fun being picked on, but you understand competition-wise, you have to do that to get better, right?
Never mind, keep bullying him.
I'm sensitive too, Steven.
Yeah. Safe space.
I don't want to hurt those people's feelings out there. It's, you know, you're in the right spot, it's just not enough power. You're barely popping the plate. You need the power. Come on, Adam, show them how to get power. Show them how to get power, Adam. Ah! I don't hear you yelling. Ah! That was so Come on.
It's like the bar on my neck. I'm like,
Who's a good yeller we've had here in the past, Steven?
Ed.
Dude, Ed has a battle cry. That's not gonna yell.
I know.
Who was yelling here all the time? Was it Reagan?
Reagan was very loud.
Reagan would yell at Ed.
Yeah. Yeah, Reagan was pretty loud.
Who yells while they lift? Not many. Kind of look on the.
I think that's kind of that's like in lifting culture. That's kind of like a douchey thing to do.
I don't know.
We have a lot of
No, like I'm about it.
If
Like
you have a really aggressive yell, it sounds pretty cool.
no, I'm talking about like someone when they're going through their reps and you can tell they're just yelling. So it's like everybody look at me. Like that's annoying to me.
Al do that?
We have a lot of people that they throw.
Al, yeah, gave a little grunt, but I don't feel like Al was doing it as like a look at me thing.
What about Arjma?
Arjma yelled, but Arjma is like, you know, super.
Don't say it. They'll come down here. Yeah, not many do, but when they do, sometimes it's effective.
I did the. You did the one where me and Moshe always make fun of you when you were like, get this weight in the air! You went and I do that every time I power clean heavy weight now.
I talk to myself, I'm like, come on, you can do it, come on!
Well, a lot of it gets mental, like it literally does, like it's like you can do it, you're just scared to do it.
I loved it, and then you do the Arnold's like,
come on!
do it!
What are you waiting for? Kill me!
Kill me now, come on! If Adam was here, he'd be repeating that. Come on, do it! He'd be running out the door. Come on!
Oh, I love that movie. Oh, there you are.
I would do that. He'd be right behind me. Come on, do it! Just go back to those old ask a question or Top Velocity shows.
You don't even remember the show's name.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah,
we still do it.
Way
Actually,
back when.
just did an episode on Chapman and on Ryan that was uploading.
Yeah, that was pretty tight.
All right, I mean, I think you're good. I'm not trying to wear you out anymore, but I think what you got to do is look, when you feel you're stuck on something that doesn't feel right, and you don't feel like you're getting success out of it, that's what we got to figure it out. We got to be like, hey, what drill can we bring in that would give me the, kind of activate that for me and get that thing doing what I want it to do. So I think the sled, I mean, anything in the drive, loading it is going to be big, and the only way you can load a drive is the sled. But it's active, it's potential, or what's it, PAP.
Post-activation potentiation.
Just going over there and getting a clean in at a good, 60-70%, and coming out here, it can have a similar effect. So sometimes, like Arsmo, that was his favorite thing to do. He'd go and kill a set and then come out and go right into the drill, and it would just start to happen. Because that's breaking out of what we talked about, analysis paralysis. Sometimes you'll sit there far from the activity, right, the dynamic activity, and you're just analyzing things so much, you're literally like, what am I doing? Like, I'm barely moving. I don't feel like I'm pitching right now. Yeah. So you go get in the activity or the loaded movement, and you start initiating the power and the athleticism, and then that kind of breaks you out, and then you get back in the drill, and then you just stay in that mentality, and it starts coming. And the things, the analytical things you're working on start showing up. You're like, oh, there it is, there it is, and it's all together now. So you just got to be careful. Analysis paralysis happens a lot, and it's just you're getting too much in the critical stuff or the analytical stuff, and you're getting away from the power, you're getting away from the strength, you're getting away from the explosiveness. That's what I say, it's a ballistics movement. So it's like, even though if I'm sitting there going, I need to get in these positions and I want to do this and I want to be able to get here, once I set that in my mind, I'm going, okay, now I'm gonna launch myself into it. I'm gonna hit those things, but I'm gonna do it in an explosive manner. Like, here I go, boom, right? I'm not gonna then go to the rep and be like, okay, what was I doing again? Okay, I wanna be here, I'm here. It's like at that point, you're gonna be lost, right?
That's where I was getting at, so.
Yeah, and it happens to a lot of people.
I couldn't feel like what was.
But that's typical of pitchers, and you can do that in a game. You get so obsessed with where you want the ball and where it needs to be and where it needs to go, and based on this hitter, and then all of a sudden you realize you're literally pitching like this.
Yeah.
You're like, oh crap, like I'm gonna get teed off on. Doesn't matter if I put it in the right place now. It's 70 miles an hour, you know, or 80 miles an hour. So that's the same thing. You gotta be careful as pitchers at getting too analytical, and you gotta be careful as pitchers getting too athletic. Like you can't just go out there and be like, I don't care where it goes. You know, you gotta find that balance. Hey, how's it going?
I wasn't sure if they're actively filming. I was like, I don't want to walk in while they're
do a little film our workouts and stuff like that.
Nice, good. I'm Dave with Cintas.
Yeah.
We work with a couple of neighboring facilities, and you know, I saw Topvelocity on the mailbox.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you know.
Lifting or go, I guess.
Gyms like some Anytime Fitnesses, Fire Fitness on the side of the road. YouFit, I think is one of the West Bay. Yeah. But basically, just helping it so you guys can concentrate on workouts, don't worry about like squats for restroom, or hitting track and things like that. So I didn't know if that would be something you guys, you know.
What is it?
Yeah. So actually, this is everything from
A little catch. Go eat, then I'm working out.
Respect. Where are you about to go eat?
Grab Subway since it's right there.
I'm coming with you.
Let's do it. We're washing the mat on a weekly basis. We take care of cleaning chemicals, things like that, so disinfectants, glass cleaner, and even into this restroom upgrades here. So like 9 different color options, but most of all, just you don't have to worry about, hey, are we ever going to run out of stock? Because we just come each week and
Good service. You know, I don't think I have volume.
okay.
But I think, I like it. If I ever got the volume, I have a guy that helps me to be clean.
Yeah.
If we had the volume, I think
Yeah, I got you.
the average probably would.
Yeah, I think it's on fire. I'm trying to like stabilize that.
Okay. Tell them about it.
Come around consistently.
Yeah.
It's like summer.
Yeah. No, I got you. Well, yeah.
Just
Half the time you don't
think of it as like in the setup like of a squat, like getting your foot screwed in to create torsion. It's like the same thing. So it's like screw that foot into the ground to try to create some torque in the femur, and then activate that glute to keep it strong and activated.
Typically, I think they wanted to
but I
say
feel like I'm
around like $60 per month. Is
I'm already like pushing out instead of just like activating it.
What do you mean, like pushing out?
I feel like I'm already like right here
Oh, I see.
instead of like.
So it's like in a torsion, like in like a torsion setup. If you're doing a squat, you would come, screw your feet into the ground to create torque, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core, and then you would start your descent. So now you're creating that basis of torque, but off of one leg. So it's like screw that foot into the ground, feel the torque, squeeze the glute, and go.
Fire.
So how many rests? I don't think you have breaths. Very good. 2 rests, okay. Sometimes.
Try to ride it into torsion more. So like try to keep that leg tight, torsion activated, but then when you go to leg lift, like ride it down into it. A little better. Yeah. Here, a good way to work on it too. Right, come over here. Use this band, and you can kind of do it a couple of different ways. So you can start like this way and kind of let the band, you can sit back in the band
So you can screw your foot, get tension in the band, get your leg into the ground, screw your foot into the ground, activate the glute, and then you can kind of use the band to hold you up as you're sitting into that posterior chain. So you can really work on it that way, and then you can start going lateral and using the band to support you this way. And same thing, screw your foot in, activate the glute, lift, and then you can kind of start loading and just working on holding the torsion in the leg. Because you're lifting and you're kind of doing it, but you're still staying so vertical and then still wanting to go back to just that quick spin.
Try it facing forward first, because that allows you to really sit into your posterior chain, because the band's going to hold you. Like go through your leg lift and try to hold that torsion as you're going down. So that's a drop. Now the key is getting it to be where the hips are going forward and down at the same rate. So if you're just going up and then sitting on it, that's drop and drive. So you need it to be going up and riding the hips down. There you go, better. Good. Still a little drop and drivey, but it's a good that you're holding the torsion. Squeeze that glute. Hip on fire?
Hip and glute about to explode.
Right.
Trying to stretch out.
Ride it, ride it, ride it. Perfect. Good. Good, good. So don't go into the full extension of the leg. Just go down to your sweet spot of the load and hit and walk it back up. So don't start building the habit of getting out of that load. So you're kind of going a little too far where it's like, okay, this isn't a good load position. Just ride it to that load and walk it back up. Ride it to that load, walk it back up. There you go, walk it back up. There it is, good. Nice. Now you can start trying the lateral way too. Good.
So that actually would come out to 128 once per month. And then if it's like, hey, we really didn't use too much toilet paper, we still have case, they just credit it off for the next month. So, I mean, I don't know if that's
Nice.
I think you're probably not on. Sure, sure. Okay, okay.
Good. That's it though.
Yeah, yeah.
Like all of those reps were quality reps of loading that leg.
Other facilities that use a similar service. Do you know of any neighbors?
I kind of feel like I'm like rolling on my foot though.
Because you're not creating any torsion. You're not creating. You're just kind of using the band to help you with those positions. Like you have to get from the ground. So like watch, when I'm just resting, I'm starting to drop valgus into with my knee. So you're kind of just starting in that rested position. You have to actively feel yourself screw. See how I'm like pulling my knee? That's creating torsion, and you should feel it all the way up into to your hip socket, where you feel your femoral head is creating torque in there. Do you feel that? Like if you really like, don't let like you're trying to make your foot do this, but don't let it move. And you should feel it be able to torque all the way up into your hip. So go out with the knee. So let's keep that foot tight, start to screw it, and start to pull that. And you should feel it torque up here. You're not feeling it in, okay, so you're not feeling it in your hip. Trying to think how I can explain it better. Try to do it with two legs, where it's like wham, both legs, because that's the torsion in your squat. Feel it? Anything?
Was that right?
Kinda. I mean,
Well, that sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks so much.
you're just kind of pushing the knees out.
Brent, okay.
I'll show you some videos on it.
All right. Have a great day.
Weight feels so heavy once I get it here. From last year it didn't, and my sore shoulder was crazy because I did a lot of overhead rolls, so I'm moving again. 2 weeks ago. I'm just doing 135. The other day I was doing clean press. And now I'm doing consistent last night.
Good. So now, I mean, from there, then you can go into the sled drills. You can go back into the med ball drills. Like, it's just a good way to kind of prime you to get some quality reps in and feel it, and then start building strength and building motor control.